Finland on Monday, together with my colleagues in Finland and Sweden. The feedback from the soldiers we have met today illustrates the importance of conducting exercises in Arctic areas and to provide relevant training for NATO forces in these demanding times for international security and peace. I am so grateful and impressed of each and everyone that participates in this exercise, all to train on how to protect our countries in crisis or war. It is also remarkable how the exercise has included a civilian military approach, training what we in Norway call the total defense concept. I will now turn the floor over to the Secretary General of NATO for his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister Sandvik, Minister Eide, dear Ture, dear Espen. Thank you for hosting me here in the High North today. To witness some of the incredible efforts undertaken as part of Cold Response 26. Norway is a key player when it comes to our northern flank. You have developed specialized military capabilities tailored not just to cold weather operations, but to Arctic and also Arctic conditions. You provide NATO kinds of capabilities for operations, and you conduct vital supporting activities and exercises. Indeed, Cold Response has once again demonstrated Norway's over 30,000 of the Finland from 14 countries training as part of this exercise. We have seen many examples today of our military units, our exercising and learning from one another builds bonds between allies and ensures the ability of NATO nations to operate effectively to do this together. Cold Response is also one of the first major activities brought together under Arctic Sentry, NATO's new enhanced vigilance activity in the Arctic. But it is not only during the exercise we can learn from this expertise. You host the NATO Center of Excellence for Cold Weather Operations, sharing your knowledge on how in extreme conditions. Norway also hosts one of NATO's combined air operations centers, enhancing our shared security and NATO's ability to plan, to coordinate and to oversee air operations in the Nordic region, the Baltic and Barents Seas and in the North Atlantic. NATO will defend every inch of Allied territory, regardless of the direction from challenges may come. Our armed forces are ready to operate in extreme conditions, and Cold Response 26 is taking that readiness even further. I want to thank you as our hosts for your leadership during this exercise. Working together.
Good morning. I call this hearing to order.
And I'm also been visiting the exercise in Finland on Monday, together with my colleagues in Finland and Sweden. And I'm also been visiting the exercise in Finland on Monday, together with my colleagues in Finland and Sweden. The feedback from the soldiers we have met today illustrates the importance of conducting exercises in Arctic areas and to provide relevant training for NATO forces in these demanding times for international security and peace. I am so grateful and impressed of each and everyone that participates in this exercise, all to train on how to protect our countries in crisis or war. It is also remarkable how the exercise has included a civilian military approach, training what we in Norway call the total defense concept. I will now turn the floor over to the Secretary General of NATO for his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister Sandvik, Minister Eide, dear Ture, dear Espen. Thank you for hosting me here in the High North today. To witness some of the incredible efforts undertaken as part of Cold Response 26. Norway is a key player when it comes to our northern flank. You have developed specialized military capabilities tailored not just to cold weather operations, but to Arctic and also Arctic conditions. You provide NATO kinds of capabilities for operations, and you conduct vital supporting activities and exercises. Indeed, Cold Response has once again demonstrated Norway's over 30,000 of the Finland from 14 countries training as part of this exercise. We have seen many examples today of our military units, our exercising and learning from one another builds bonds between allies and ensures the ability of NATO nations to operate effectively to do this together. Cold Response is also one of the first major activities brought together under Arctic Sentry, NATO's new enhanced vigilance activity in the Arctic. But it is not only during the exercise we can learn from this expertise. You host the NATO Center of Excellence for Cold Weather Operations, sharing your knowledge on how in extreme conditions. Norway also hosts one of NATO's combined air operations centers, in enhancing our shared security and NATO's ability to plan, to coordinate and to oversee air operations in the Nordic region, the Baltic and Barents Seas and in the North Atlantic. NATO will defend every inch of Allied territory, regardless of the direction from challenges may come. Our armed forces are ready to operate at single conditions, and Cold Response 26 is taking that readiness even further. I want to thank you as our hosts for your leadership during this exercise. Working together.
And I'm also
Good morning. I call this hearing to order. Welcome to the Senate's annual Worldwide Threat Assessment hearing. Let me begin by welcoming our esteemed panel of witnesses, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, the CIA Director, John Ratcliffe, the FBI Director, Kash Patel, the Acting Director of the National Security Agency and Commander of U.S. Cyber Command, Lieutenant General William Hartman, and the DIE Director, Lieutenant General James Adams. Thank you all for your appearance today and for your service. I also want to offer a special thanks to General Hartman, who is about to enter a well-earned and well-deserved retirement. General, on behalf of the committee, thank you for your lifetime of service to our nation. I'd first like to take this opportunity to commend the thousands of men and women in our intelligence agencies whom our witnesses represent. Our intelligence professionals are second to none. Because of their service, their dedication, and their sacrifice, Americans are safer at home and around the world. But because of the nature of their work, grateful Americans don't buy their lunch at restaurants or even have a chance to say thank you. So on their behalf, let me simply say thank you. I want to make two basic points this morning. First, the world is always a dangerous place, especially for America. But thanks to your agencies and President Trump's leadership, the world isn't quite as dangerous for Americans as it was a year ago. Thanks to the efforts of our military and intelligence personnel, including my fellow Arkansans who are now serving in the Middle East, the Iranian revolutionary regime that terrorized the world for 47 years is finally knocked on its back foot. Last summer, we devastated Iran's nuclear facilities. In recent weeks, we've eliminated Iran's top leadership, pummeled its military, sunk its navy, destroyed its missiles, neutered its proxies, and left its economy reeling. After 47 years of indecision and timidity, America has finally put our foot down. I'm also pleased to report that things have improved a lot in our own backyard now that Venezuela's illegitimate communist dictator, Nicolas Maduro, is rotting in a New York prison. Only the United States could execute a military and intelligence operation of this difficulty without a single American life lost. Our military is awesome, but these operations wouldn't have succeeded, and they probably wouldn't have even been tried without timely, accurate, and fact-based intelligence from your agencies. These successful operations are a testament to our intelligence professionals' ability to expose and uncover critical details about America's enemies. So let this be a warning to those who wish America harm. We leave no stone unturned, and there's no one or no thing close to you that might not betray you. Today's hearing is an opportunity for the American people to hear an unvarnished and unbiased account of the remaining threats we face, from communist China, North Korea, and Russia to the east to narco-terrorist cartels here at home. These threats truly do span the globe. And for my second point, your agencies have improved over the last year thanks to reforms that has gotten them back to basics. Of course, my 2 points are related. When our intelligence agencies return to their core mission, stealing the secrets of our adversaries to deliver timely and needful intelligence, America is safer for it. These efforts are already bearing fruit. For example, last year, the CIA increased its foreign intelligence reporting by 25%. This year, the CIA is on track to hire and deploy more officers than at any point in the last quarter century. While I'm greatly encouraged by the progress, more remains to be done. We must always equip our intelligence personnel with the tools they need to do their jobs well and execute missions. That's why I fully support President Trump's request for a clean reauthorization of FISA Section 702. That's why I expect a healthy intelligence budget request in the administration's supplemental appropriations request to fund operations against Iran and narco-terrorists. No doubt our military needs supplemental funding, but our intelligence agencies need it just as badly. Moreover, I urge each of you to continue to make personnel and institutional reforms that will cement these changes and foreclose a return in the future to bureaucratic bloat, political bias, and excessive caution within your services. When I became chairman, I promised real reform across the entire intelligence community. Our first Intelligence Authorization Act set the foundation for a more efficient intelligence community by, for example, reorganizing the ODNI, improving the security of CIA installations, and directing resources towards foreign intelligence collection and covert action. This year, I look forward to going further, namely by growing our cadre of collectors, making generational investments in core capabilities, providing new capabilities to defend our space assets, and further codifying reforms to guard against any future return of bloated and biased bureaucracy. I look forward to working with you towards these ends. I now recognize the Vice Chairman.
American admixture, but I've driven through these reservations, and this is
Where that is?
what's up.
What's up, Daddy
Yeah.
Diesel?
Yeah, I've been a fan of yours for a minute.
Yes, sir.
But here's the thing. I don't agree with you on black people being indigenous to America, as far as like Native Americans. I understand FBA as far as delineating from immigration here in America, like specifying our ethnic group, because there's a difference between race, ethnicity, and nationality, and some people don't get the difference. But I feel like, why are you trying to deny the transatlantic slave trade? Because that's where my ancestry came from. And why are so many FBAs afraid of the DNA test? I did my 23andMe, and I'm 87% West African, 11% European, 1% actual Native American, because yes, we have Native American admixture. But I've driven through these reservations, and this is nothing to play with. I don't want to disrespect these tribes, man.
Diesel, when have I ever denied the transatlantic slave trade?
Or tried to downplay it. Did you ever try to downplay it?
Sir, you can't just lie and then move the goalposts of the lie. I've never denied the transatlantic slave trade. I've never done that, sir. Why'd you say that?
But you saying black people are indigenous to America. We can't be from Africa and indigenous to America. But no, it's one or the other.
No, it's not.
Dorsey hair is not indigenous to America.
No, it's not one or the other. There were black indigenous people here. We've been here too long to not be mixed in with some of the indigenous people. It's literally impossible for us to be here this long and not mix in. There were black indigenous people here. This is very well documented. We all got mixed together.
How come it doesn't show up on my 23andMe? How come 23andMe doesn't show up for no black person? How come if you did it, it'll definitely go to Africa, like to the western parts of Africa, which those nations did not exist. I understand.
Right, they didn't exist. If you do 23andMe, it'll tell you a damn Zulu, and Zulus didn't exist until the late part of the 1700s, sir. Talking, sir.
Sorry about that, sir.
All right, when the Portuguese got here in the 1500s, sir, when they got down to South America, they made two distinctions of the people who they were enslaving. They called the people Negros de Guinea, and they had another classification, Negros de Terra. That means Negroes from Africa and the Negroes who are already here, the black people who are already here on the land. Why would they make that distinction?
I'm just going to simplify it, stick to what I was taught to.
I just asked you a question. I asked you a question.
What I was taught in
I asked you a question.
And by my parents.
I asked you a question, okay? Because when somebody asks you a scholarship question, you don't change the subject. Answer the question, please. All right?
I I never knew of those books, so a lot of things could be made up. But the thing is,
Why would
science
they
shows
make that up?
4C.
Why would European explorers come over here and lie about seeing black people here? Why would they make that up? Huh? And damn near all of them.
Have been dark, yes, dark complected Native Americans exist, yes. But what I'm saying is, far as the 4C hair, that is not indigenous to the Americas.
Yeah, it is too. They had different hair textures. You got people in Africa who got 4C hair and they don't have 4C hair in certain parts, sir. Everybody in Africa doesn't have 4C hair. Are you serious? You go over to East Africa, their hair, some of their hair is straight, some of their hair is
Yes.
curly. You go down into you go down to South Africa, you got peppercorn edges. You got people with the fuzzy wuzzies who over in Ethiopia had large bushy hair. So yeah, there's different hair textures all over Africa, sir.
I've been to South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Ghana. Okay, I mean, I paid respects to my ancestors in Ghana, going through the through the door of no return and seeing the slave cast. Here's the thing. I am FBA, yes, lineage. I understand.
Who's FBA in your family? Slow down. Where's your family from?
My mom is from Texas. She's part of the transatlantic slave. My grandparents moved with her from Texas in the 60s. And my dad is from California. They had me in the 80s. But here's the thing. I still remain.
Your dad from California? By way of what?
By way of my dad died at a younger age. I got no immigrant in my family. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I have no immigrant. I have no immigrant.
You don't know where your dad is from. You don't know where your dad is from.
He died when I was young, but I can tell you.
And what you mean he died? Like you don't? And he come from somewhere. He came from somewhere before he passed away.
Black, I can tell you that.
Okay, sound like your dad was African.
No, I can promise you it wasn't. No.
How you know?
Because I remember meeting my dad's side of the family when I was a kid, and I promise you they were not African.
From where?
I don't know specifically where. It's just
right there. We know our family. Foundational Black Americans know where our damn family is from.
I know my mom's side of it. Look, I met a cousin in Texas through 23andMe. I met a cousin in Dallas.
Oh, man, you sound like you foreign, man. You sound like you got an immigrant background, bro.
Bro, no, I don't. I'm sorry to tell you, but
just you met somebody through 23andMe. We don't have to do that. We do that for entertainment purposes. We got family in graveyards. We got graveyards we could go to, sir.
I said my grandparents moved my mom from Texas in the 60s. She was in junior high school when she came to LA in the 60s. And my mom eventually met my dad in the 80s and had me. Just because somebody doesn't agree with all your shit.
No, you don't even know your own. You don't know your. Don't crash out now because now it's being revealed you ain't really FBA, bro. You don't know your family. Who don't know their damn family? And you splaining and talking in circles. That's why you pushing Pan-Africanism so hard and trying to deny that there were Black indigenous people over here, sir, because you come from a foreign background. That's the problem.
Just think it's disrespectful to the actual Native Americans where I go.
You got me?
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 18. Come now and let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool.
So that's what we intend to do. We always intend to sit down and let us reason. Our people are in a sinful state. So we speak to the pastors first. They're the heads of the congregation and say, listen, not just your congregation, but this whole community is out of God's order. I said, look how the women dress. Look how the men act. Everything's wrong with us. Everything. And some pastors have sat down with us. Some were good. most were negative because they don't want to hear the Bible. They say, hey, put that Bible away. We don't want to hear no more Bible verses because they can't deal with us in the scriptures. Even Jamal Bryant says, you got to respect them purple and gold brothers because they know the scriptures. He said, I wonder if the men of my church know scriptures like these brothers know. The answer is no, they don't. Nobody does. So God says, let us reason together. So back to Philip Anthony Mitchell. He was instructed by the Israelis, let me tell you why I say that, to speak against the Israelites. How do I know that? If you look at Al Jazeera, the lobby, they show clips of when South Africans were setting up or working with BDS, boycott, divestment, and sanctions against Israelis, saying to boycott them, don't buy from them, don't sell to them, nothing, because they are committing apartheid and genocide. So in the Al Jazeera footage, they put Al Jazeera sent an undercover white guy from Britain, but he goes in and they allow him in the meetings because he's a journalist. He goes in as one of them and he's filming with a secret camera. And in the meeting, you hear them say, we have a strategy. Let's take Black South Africans, bring them to Israel, dine them, entertain them at the best hotels, give them the best food, all our entertainment, all expenses on us, on APOC, groups like that. And there were two meetings. There was another meeting with another Jewish woman who said she had a meeting. She said the problem with the Black community is young Black men. She said, but I sat down, I invited 40 Black leaders to my house. And they agreed, they gave them money, food, money, and they're going to work with the Israelis to stop Black Lives Matter. They never mentioned us, but we know that we're the thorn in their flesh. So if you look at the speech of Philip Anthony Mitchell, what's his name? Is it Mitchell? Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. On why his change in doctrine, his change in church name, he said he went to Israel. And he said he changed his whole life. I went to Israel. The same year, as a matter of fact, that he went, we were there. And I'm like, what does this change? The difference is they wined him. They dined him. Took him to best places. Okay? Best entertainment. Best hotel. That's what I had. And I would always ask, hey, what's behind that big wall? That was, I'm thinking, so that's the Arabs on the side. He says, apartheid. He was telling us it's a whole apartheid system. So when Anthony Mitchell comes back to the States, he says, my mind was opened up. We must stand with Israel. I'm like, what? Like on that video I did, I show you in the land of Israel, in Jerusalem, when you walk into their churches or cathedrals, you see all white images. But in the back, down the hallway is Black, and that's why I wandered, because I like to wander. And I took my phone out with the light, and then I see Black images on the wall. And I call all the brothers, come over here, come here. They all run in there. Everybody puts their lights on. You see Black images all on the walls of Black Jesus, Black Moses, Black Mary, Black Joshua. And so some white people followed behind us. And I was like, look, did you know this? And they were like, no, I did not know this. There was a Black Jesus and Black Mary. So we got the videos as proof. Philip Michael didn't see none of that. He just did what the white man said, like a good dog. I'm sorry I called him a dog, but God calls him a dog. Give me the Isaiah 56. I'm going to show you. I know people are sensitive. Your ad hominems, calling names. It's not me. It's the Bible. Read that.
Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs.
Even God calls the watchmen of the white man ignorant, dumb dogs, because a dog is meant to warn the people. Philip Anthony Mitchell is not warning our people about the racism and oppression done to us. He's trying to justify why our children are shot and killed in the streets. He's saying, oh, they're not obeying the powers of be. He's paraphrasing Romans 13, which is like verse 1 through 5, where Paul teaches us, obey the powers that be. He said, pay your taxes, pay your customs to whom customs is due. A custom, for example, you go to court. All rise, you got to stand up. And you got to take your hat off. You cannot walk in with gang colors on. You will be held in contempt of court. So these are customs we keep. Now, Philip Anthony our enemies.
It's a powerful statement, Bishop.
And are our enemies for your people. That's what God said. Make this, but he don't speak on that. He'll just say, oh, you weren't obeying the No, Philip, stop. Stop the lies. That is not correct. You're lying. You got to learn to stand up and speak up for your people. That's what God says in Isaiah 15. God goes to speak up for the injustice, but he won't do it. These black pastors are our enemies. If they can't repent, remember, they are our enemies.
It's a powerful statement, Bishop.
And I'm going to wait.
Nah, hey, keep cooking. Keep cooking.
Romans 11:26, I believe it is. I got to justify, because people be like, nah, bro, you wrong. Because they are people, so they're not our enemies. I'm going to show you what the Lord said about our people in these religions.
Romans chapter 11, verse 28. As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes.
So who is he talking about? The black Sadducees, black Pharisees, the black Jews, the Sanhedrin. They are people, but they were against Christ and the apostles. They were against the gospel of Christ. They were against it. Why? Because they supported Rome. You also had another group called the Herodians, which was supporters of King Herod, or what, another white man. These black men served the white man. So read it again.
As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes. But as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sake.
Meaning they can repent. There's a hope and prayer that these black pastors, that these black, the black caucus can get their minds right and repent. And even out of the black caucus, the only one who ever spoke on our behalf, what's the sister's name? She's in California married now.
Oh, Maxine.
Karen Bass.
Oh, yeah, Karen Bass.
Karen Bass.
Yeah.
You saw the sister, the older lady, they call her Auntie Maxine. She tried to go into the prison to see the immigrants that was unlawfully arrested. She said, I want to use my congressional powers. They said, you have none here, and slammed the door. So where's the black man and black woman's authority when they joined the black caucus, Congress? You have no power. You've always been puppets. You're nothing. But when we tell you that, you get shocked, you get amazed, like we're saying something wrong to you. We're trying to wake you up. That's all.
Man.
Wrong to you. We're trying to wake you up. Congress, you have no power. You've always been puppets. You're nothing. But when we tell you that, you get shocked, you get amazed, like we're saying something wrong to you. We're trying to wake you up. That's all.
Man, that's good, Bishop. You know, hearing that about our black preachers, right? How they lead us astray. We see them with the fancy cars. Growing up, Creflo Dollar, his home was like 5 minutes up the road from ours.
Damn,
but
really?
his is gated, though. You can't enter. It's acres upon acres. And it's like, man, he did all of this just off of preaching. And then when you see World Changers off of Old National, see that Golden Dome. We see Philip Anthony Mitchell. All of these things. Is it safe to call the black church a cult, Bishop?
Yes. People they say, oh, you guys are a cult of personality. Like when they mention cult, they'll mention Jim Jones. Okay, I'd say rightfully so, because he murdered thousands of his own congregants. And if you notice, his congregation was 80% black. 80% black. They always loved the white man. Yahweh ben Yahweh. He sent his followers out to kill black and white people. He said, bring me back. Well, allegedly, because I know they're going to get mad when they see it. Well, that didn't happen. Accordingly to the news, so allegedly, according to the news, it says that he had some of his members who testified in court. They would chop off white people's heads. That's what they did. So those are two cults off the top of my head. But then let's wind back time a little bit. Cults do diabolical, devious things. For example, the Roman Catholic Church is the first and biggest cult since the Middle Ages, or I'll say since the Renaissance. They instituted the transatlantic slave trade. So you'll call IUIC a cult. We didn't enslave your ancestors. We're not oppressing you. But the Roman Catholic Church did, and is, followed behind what came behind the Catholic Church, the Protestants. The Protestants enslaved when they said, oh, we want to break away from the Roman Catholic Church. So did the Protestants stop slavery? No, they didn't. Slavery went on for another 200, almost 150 years under your Protestants, under your Seventh-day Adventists, your Jehovah Witness, all these different groups, the Pentecostals, which was set up in 1901 by Charles Parham. That was the time of Jim Crow, segregation. They didn't stop none of that. But they're not called a cult. We're called a cult for telling black men and black women, you're the Israelites the Bible speaks of. You have a black king whom the world calls Christ. And we're the cult. We're so evil. You know, cult is the root word of culture when you think about it. But people use it in such a negative way towards us. And they say, oh, you're the black Hebrew Israelites. You won't find that term anywhere in the Bible. Even Hebrew Israelites is not in the Bible, not together. You will never find those two words conjoined together. It's always either the Hebrews, like Abraham was called the Hebrew, or the Israelites. That's it. So we tell the people, we're the Israelites. No, white man says you're black Hebrew Israelites. So that's what we're going to call them. Hey, it is what it is. But that's not who we are. We're the Israelites.
But it didn't start there. Talk about the Rothschild family. Because a lot of these things that we complain.
And I'm also been visiting the exercise in Finland on Monday, together with my colleagues in Finland and Sweden. The feedback from the soldiers we have met today illustrates the importance of conducting exercises in Arctic areas and to provide relevant training for NATO forces in these demanding times for international security and peace. I am so grateful and impressed of each and everyone that participates in this exercise, all to train on how to protect our countries in crisis or war. It is also remarkable how the exercise has included a civilian military approach, training what we in Norway call the total defense concept. I will now turn the floor over to the Secretary General of NATO for his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Minister Sandvik, Minister Eide, dear Toure, dear Espen. Thank you for hosting me here in the High North today. To witness some of the incredible efforts undertaken as part of Cold Response 26. Norway is a key player when it comes to the security of our northern flank. You have developed specialized military capabilities tailored not just to cold weather operations, but to Arctic and also Arctic conditions. You provide NATO kinds of capabilities for operations, and you conduct vital supporting activities and exercises. Cold Response has once again demonstrated Norway's over 30,000 Finland from 14 African training as part of this exercise. We have seen many examples today of our military units, our exercising and learning from one another builds bonds between allies and the ability of NATO nations to operate effectively to do this together.
your bass and take.
Low, heart sink, no thoughts, don't think. Just breathe with the kick drum, heartbeat in the snare. When the silence hits for a moment, then we go back in. No air. Turn it up, don't stop, don't stop. Hands high, let it rock. Let the rhythm, let the rhythm, let the rhythm, let the rhythm take control.
Let the whole place come undone, done.